everyone, my name is Barb Coleman and welcome to KWT's Excel training. Today we'll be talking about the ability to merge cells together and how you can do that in Excel and why you might want to do that in Excel. So merging is when you want to combine multiple cells into a single unit. It is usually done because you want to format your worksheet so that it's more legible. Often used for column headings to be more concise so that you're not repeating data. And it's less about the data and it's more about the formatting and the legibility of your data. So merge options are available to you from the alignment on your ribbon. You can also get to it from formatting cells under alignment. The merge cells option is there as well. You can unmerge cells once you've merged, if you've merged them together and changed your mind, you can unmerge them again. But do be careful, there is the potential to lose some data in these cases, and we'll show you that particular instance so you don't fall into that trap. So let's take a look at what some of this might look like. So I may have some data like this where my headers span more than one row. So I have start date and finish date, and maybe I want to put them over two rows. But rather than repeating date, what I can do is to merge these two date fields together. And I can do merge and center is the default, or we can just do merge across, merge cells. And there's your unmerge once they've been merged together. So let's just do merge and center with these two. Now you'll notice it will say it's only keeping the left value and it will discard all other values. So you say OK to that, and that gives me date centered. And I may want to center the start and finish as well, just to be a little clearer. But then that makes it clear that the values I'm putting in here are dates in both columns. But in this column, it's the start date, and in this column, it's the finish date. Now, you'll notice when you merge two cells together that both have data, it discards everything except the upper left value. And now if I go and unmerge this, I do not get that data back. The other thing to note is that I can merge multiple rows as well. So if I had 6 cells like this that I wanted to merge into one, I can certainly do that. Again, it will remind you that it's only going to keep the upper left value. So the only value left in this cell after I merge it will be A1. If I click OK, that is the value in the merge. Now, I can change the formatting of that within the cell. But again, when I go to unmerge this cell, which I can get to from format cells as well, under alignment, I can unmerge it by unchecking it, but I lose the rest of that data that was there. So do be careful with that. If you're merging fields that both have or all have data, you are going to lose some data. Another common reason why you might want to do this is if you have a spreadsheet, say, of quarterly data over multiple years. I can certainly do it this way, and most people will understand that these 4 quarters are for 2019, these 4 quarters are for 2020. But I may want to choose to merge these 4 cells so that it's much clearer now that these 4 columns belong to 2019. And if I do the same thing here, these 4 columns belong to 2020. So as you can see, it's more about formatting than it is about the data itself. So these are just some common examples of when you'll want to do merging. Now, a little more expansive example might be something like this, where maybe I'm using Excel to put together some project management data. So I want my tasks. I want to group these tasks by different areas of the project: analysis, design, and build. And maybe I want to add in some milestones. Milestones don't necessarily get assigned to anybody, but they still have a date. So you can see here where I have merged together cells for my groupings so that analysis and design are clearly covering all 3 columns. But for the milestones, I'm only merging 2 columns because I still want that date to be there to tell me when that milestone is. So let's take a look at how we could get to this particular type of formatting if we started with just the basic data. So as you're putting your project plan together, you start by just typing things in, and this is what you get. Again, not nearly as clear as this for somebody to look at, but to get from the working data to the formatted data, it's simply a matter of we're going to merge all the cells that have to do with the groupings across all 3 columns. So there's our build, there's our test, and deployment, and follow-up. So now I've got my categories of the project merged together, so that's a little clearer. And then I can take my milestones and merge them across 2 columns because I still have that date there, and that's still important. So you can see how very easily we can get to something close to this. The only thing I haven't done here is format them. And once you have merged fields together, any formatting that you do applies to all the cells that have been merged. So you can see when I'm applying formatting or coloring to the merged cells, it crosses all of the cells that were merged together. Similar if I go to my milestones and apply some color, it's to the 2 columns that have been merged together for milestone. So again, easily done. I can also include bold, whatever other formatting you would normally do to a cell. If you apply it to a merged cell, it applies to the whole thing. So that's just a quick example of how you might use merge cells when formatting your Excel spreadsheets and your tables and your charts. Make use of merge cells to make your data clearer to the reader. As with most cases with Excel, we are putting data together in a way that someone else will easily understand it, and merging of cells is another way to do that. Thank you very much. That concludes this lesson.